What's up, Brian? What was your question?
So I'm just curious what Pan-Africanism is. Like, honest question, I've never heard the term before.
A simple term for Pan-Africanism would be global black empowerment.
Mm-hmm.
Pan means world, Africanism. So black people coming together politically, economically, spiritually, if you are of that persuasion, just to empower black people globally. As you know, black people were kind of like in a bad position globally, especially when you consider the continent of Africa, islands like Haiti. Well, basically, the black people who are in places where they have access to wealth, we need to start building some type of relationship with other black people, which there is a relationship, but we need to start fortifying that relationship to kind of help everybody around the globe come up, basically.
I gotcha.
Essentially, if I to give you an example, if an African comes to America, they are able to benefit from the civil rights movement, the equality and freedoms that we gain. They can go to college, they can go to white college, stuff like that, because we worked and fought for that. The same way I'm in Nairobi, Kenya right now, and I can buy land, I can start a business, and I do get preferential treatment as a black person from America over, say, like a Chinese person or I mean, there's a lot of favoritism in Africa. People don't understand that, but there is. If you're black, you're going to get a better deal.
And that's what I was going to ask, because your accent sounds American, but yeah, okay. So it's not really directly related to, like, I've heard of the term like back to Africa or something where like people are talking about like actual, what is it, reverse diaspora or whatever.
Well, Pan-Africanism is not hinged on people returning to Africa.
Right,
because
right.
It encompasses every African person or African person around the world, anywhere they are, anywhere.
So, okay, so an example for like supporting Pan-Africanism would be something like you meet somebody online that's got a small business in a small country in Africa, for example, and you work with them to like import their stuff and sell it by you. That, like, I mean, obviously that's a very trivial case.
But yeah, it's small. No, but that's the thing. No deed is too small or too great. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're still helping. You're still building a bridge with that person, and you guys are helping each other. You know, mutual cooperative economics. So that's the beauty of Pan-Africanism. There's nothing too small, because, as we know, all large movements are really built on individual efforts. So that's actually a perfect example of what you brought up.
Well, that sounds like a beautiful thing then.
Yes, I mean, and it's not based on like hate of any other race. It's not based on any like anima. Some people, what happens is, for a long time, Pan-Africanism, because there weren't any real gatekeepers of the ideology. You had it was a place that became a hiding place for people who had all types of deranged and degenerate ideas and thoughts. So they would hide behind Pan-Africanism, and it's kind of like how when you get into esoterics, it's a safe haven for a lot of people who have mental illness, right? No one's gonna judge them for saying something crazy, right?
I never thought about that, but that's true, yeah.
Yeah. So Pan-Africanism kind of became a safe haven for just Looney Tunes, people who just had stupid, backwards circular reasoning and circular logic. But now, because of with the invention of like the internet, we're able to connect on an unprecedented level, and we can kind of gatekeep and clean house a little more and just really educate our people. This is what Pan-Africanism is. This is what it isn't.
Because it sounds to me like what you're saying is that the most important thing is it's about like brotherhood and uplifting. It's not about like separation. It's not about like supremacy, like a lot of people are talking about these days. I mean, that's all over the U.S. news.
It's about rational thinking, right? There's no separation. The world is becoming global. I'm in Nairobi. There are white people here. There are Chinese people here. There are Mexican people here. And that is actually good for Africa because if we set up the infrastructure, we can benefit from that. Just like in the United States, well, United States is a mixed society, but say if you go to China, they set up the infrastructure where they benefit as Chinese people from us going over to Shanghai or Beijing and, hey, I love this place and I want to buy food there. That's pretty much it. It doesn't have anything to do with separation or, superiority, right? Just being able to compete and being able to participate in the global economy. Because when you marginalize people and people feel like they can't compete or they can't participate, that's how like animosity is breeded, violence comes out, and even mental illness, because people and indoctrination where people can indoctrinate people along like violent, ideologies and stuff. So it's just us taking our rightful place amongst the rest of the globe, no longer being the looked down as like the dependent class. That's kind of how black people are, because we've been disenfranchised and stuff, but we are looked at as the dependent class to an extent, and we no longer want to have that badge, let somebody else wear that if they want to, or let's just use this technology to put everybody on, let's not say equal footing because equality is a myth, but everybody on sound footing.
I like the sound of that. Everybody on sound footing is something that any rational person ought to be able to get behind, right?
Yeah, I mean, everybody should be able to get behind that. Like, but there's a difference. You're talking to me, a person who's logical with a family, who's actually doing the work, versus some asshole in the park smoking weed, drinking beer, who just is using Pan-Africanism as a way to like hate people because he doesn't want to take responsibility for his life. It's a difference.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So I hope that was a good enough. I mean, that gave you some insight on it.
That's a great explanation, and that sounds like a really wonderful kind of movement to just generally like try and connect people in ways that's going to benefit everyone.
Yeah, but thank you for hopping up. I appreciate you clicking the link.
All right, peace, brother.